Roll out the cosmic carpet. Today we're unlocking the energies of the week to help you blossom into your best self. Aloha and welcome everybody to this I'm so excited about this week's reading because we have an amazing planetary, I think it's called planetary event. So stay tuned definitely for this week's reading. Yes. My name is May. I'm an energy wave savant for those of you who don't know me yet. And I use the principles of the Hawaiian philosophy and a blend of shamanic and energy work techniques to guide empathic and highly sensitive entrepreneurs in navigating the energies they encounter daily. And together we unlock your true self and unleash your divine brilliance. Aloha, my beautiful ones. This is going to be such an amazing reading, again, because we have this wonderful planetary experience. So for starters, this is the reading for the week of October 9th until October 15th. I know I'm one day late, but I wanted to take good time to make this reading because this week on Saturday, on October 14th, we have a new moon with a solar eclipse. And I'm so excited because October is going to be the month of the eclipses, of the second half of eclipses. You know, we have them each year, you know, one in the springtime or one at the beginning of the year, one at the end of the year. And this year it's October. We're going to have October 13th, this on a Friday, which I always find is a wonderful, lucky day. So this is a very exciting week for us energetically. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's been pushing already. The last week was already, you know, pushing towards change and towards things. So let's dive right into our reading for this week. So for those of you attending for the first time, we have, you know, we have the general messages up here. So this is on the left is the message from, you know, specifically from this solar eclipse, from this new moon happening this Friday. Then we have the general cards for the whole week up here on the right. And then we have the personal messages down here below. And we have this week, so for those of you just listening in, we have the rose quartz on the left side. We have the rose itself on the center, and we have the Palo Santo on the right. So feel into this. I'm going to, you know, call in our helpers while you take the time, you know, breathe in and intuitively feel into how many of these cards and which of these card decks are going to be your personal message. All right, and with this said, I'm calling in all our spiritual help, or all our guidance, the angels, the ancestors, our animal guides, our healers, our wisdom helpers, our, you know, all the spiritual guidance that we have out there. I'm calling them all in. Let's bring them into our circle, and I already feel the room becoming more crowded. Thank you for our spiritual guides helping us here, being here present with us for this reading, to help us understand, to help us to know what is necessary for us to know for this week. We're inviting them all in, all the ones that are with me and with everybody tuning in and listening into this week's reading. This is going to be very important week with this, you know, for the end of the year. And I'm already grateful, thankful for everybody, all the spiritual guides that are helping us and supporting us in, you know, this reading. All right, so we're going to get started with the message from our solar eclipse and new moon energy that we're going to be having this week on Saturday. So let's see what we have here. When I live and act from a place of spiritual alignment, I can trust that everything is working out for me, even if I don't know when or how it will happen. I'm just going to repeat that one. When I live and act from a place of spiritual alignment, I can trust that everything is working out for me, even if I don't know when or how it will happen. When a message like this comes in and tells us that, you know, to be in the alignment, because it's a reminder for us to know how important being aligned with ourselves. And if you're wondering, May, what is that? I want to ask you to come and join us in my Facebook group, because actually, and this is very interesting, actually, this was last week's topic about spiritual alignment and why that is so important. Sorry, not last week, the week before. Why spiritual alignment is so important, and we have two practices in there, a stronger one and a smaller one, that how to align yourself with yourself spiritually, because it's about aligning the three centers that you have, basically the spiritual, your spiritual connection to your soul, your mind, and your heart. And when you get that together, aligned into one, that's when you can, make better decisions. Like example, that for this, trusting that everything will help you, right? So that's one of the things that we have here. And another one that we have is the second message that we're receiving for this time is the snake shed old skin. And this is I feel it's very typical for the new moon energy, helping us to let go of things that are not necessary for us anymore, to let it pass by, to let it, to let go of the things that we don't need anymore. It's a very good time to do so. Even now, you can already get started now. So set the intention for yourself of what you want to let go, so that you can proceed like shedding the skin completely newly with the new moon that is going to come up. And here we go. The next one is the highest priestess harness mystic powers. We've been getting this card very often lately, and I believe that it is because it's the time for us to bring out our mystic powers. So however you define mystic powers for yourself, see how you can, bring those out a little bit more. So that's what the new moon is bringing us, right? And another one is the protection guardian. Drop your shields. Drop your shields. Oh, I'm such a huge fan of this, and I'm so grateful for this new moon that is bringing us this energy. Because for those of you who are, who have been working with me, you already know how important I think it is to, for us. No, I think it's the other way around. I think it's so important for us as empaths to learn and to master, being with the energies without protecting us against it. This would probably take longer to explain, but but just know that I believe that we don't need to protect ourselves all the time from anything outside, but because we haven't learned how to deal with the energies, how to deal with the emotions, we have created a huge protection, shields and walls around us. And the thing is that it's not going to help us if we keep those walls up, if we keep those shields up. So it's important for us to learn to lower our guard, to actually embrace the energies that are surrounding us, so that we can let them go, right? And I don't know if I've talked about this, but it's so important for us as empaths to allow ourselves to embrace the energies that we're feeling, because it's going to be way easier for us to get rid or to transform or to let them just pass through our system without them, triggering anything inside of us. The more we embrace them, the more we allow them to be. I think I've mentioned this already. For me, emotions and the energies that we feel as empaths are a lot like little children. We have the option to ignore them. So what's going to happen? The child is going to get louder, louder, and louder until we give them attention. And this is how I feel about, energies in general that we feel, emotions that we feel from other people. It's because they want to be seen. They want some attention, and the more we learn to actually embrace them being there and actually giving them attention and seeing what do they want to show us, that's how we learn to become more conscious empaths, but also learn how to live without having to put up shields. So this is a nice reminder. Again, I love that this comes up because it's a nice reminder for us as empaths that it's okay for us to let go of our shields. All right. These are very interesting cards coming up. So shed old skin, harness your mystic power, align yourself, and drop your shields. Beautiful message for this, solar eclipse coming up in the next couple of days. All right, let's get into the general card reading that we have here, and we have appreciation dissolves all blocks to the presence of my super attractor power. So appreciation dissolves all blocks to the presence of my super attractor power. I love this reminder, by the way, from these beautiful, cards that we have from Gabby Bernstein, the super attractor cards. I like using them because they represent so much of the general vibration of the energies. And this is, for us, we are super attractors. We attract so much with ourselves. And I know that sometimes that's the biggest struggle for empaths. And one of the things that I say, it's so important for us to master knowing the law of attraction. It's one part. It's not everything. There's a little bit more to it, but it's the one big part is about mastering the law of attraction. And that's why I'm so excited to have this support for this week. So bring in appreciation, be grateful for all the beautiful things that you have. And you know that you can actually be grateful for all the things that you are already, that you may not have yet, but bring that into the now. Meaning, imagining, okay, what is it that you would like to have? If it is more ease with energies, for example, if it is embracing your gift as an empath, how would that, imagine for yourself, how would that make you feel, right? If those wishes would be reality, how would you feel? And then ask yourself, what can you do to create that feeling right now? And one of the things, and that's why I love when this comes up, one of the things that helps is, working with appreciation, being grateful for whatever you want to call into your life right now. Right? And because for me, appreciation is setting the intention and it's moving the energy towards what needs to happen, towards what you want to create. Thank you so much. So let's get moving to the next card that we have. And we have here the Druid, hold the space. So this week it's about holding space. But I'm getting, it's not just about holding space for others. Because, again, if you've been following me for a little bit longer, you know that I believe our job as empaths is to hold space for others. But I feel that in this case, it's also a lot about holding space for yourself. It's about learning to hold the space for yourself because there's a new moon with a solar eclipse coming, and that energy brings a lot of shifts, a lot of transformation. So it's important. Yes, please hold space for others. If you feel it, you'll feel it. Feel into yourself. If you feel that you are strong enough in that moment to hold space for others, then do that, please. But also, no, not but, and remember to hold space for yourself as well. That's very important. And when this comes, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful reminder to nurture yourself. And the third card we're getting for this week as a general card is Peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to be right. And I love this because, coming back to the card that we just have, hold space. Hold space. If someone around you is asking for it, don't fight it. Ask yourself, is it a place to go into discussion right now? Do you need to do that right now? Or is it okay for you, just to be, be with them, like it says here, not having the need to be right. For me, I always say, and we just had the inspiration from spirits to hold space also for yourself. So ask yourself, is it the need to be right? Do I have to, get into that fight right now? Is it just my ego wanting to be right? Can I move on from this? Is there a way? And if not, maybe sometimes it's also just good to leave the situation, right? All right, again, just watch out for that. And again, I don't know why this is coming up with the general cards today, but apparently that's important. So in this letting go of the need to be right, this counts for ourselves too, because we sometimes, our brain wants to tell us something, and our brain always wants to be right. Oh my God, I'm just remembering. Thank you, Kumu Mahalani, for reminding me. I see that's how spirit works sometimes. I just remembered. Remember that your brain, your mind, always wants to be right. It always wants to tell you that what it is thinking is right. Right? And you think that you have to believe what your mind is telling you. So what if what your mind is telling you is not true? What if your mind is just telling you a story that it has been telling itself for so long? Wow. Oh, that goes so well with the energy that we're feeling right now. Right? With this energy coming through from this new moon coming in. Do you feel that? So also dive into that for yourself. Again, it's not necessarily the need to be right with others. Look into what if your brain is trying to, hold on to being right when it's not. I love this. All right, my wonderful ones. I love these general cards that we just got. Let's see how and what wants to show up for your personal reading. So if you resonated with the rose quartz, if this is the one of your personal messages, then these are your cards. And we have for you, each time I choose to tune into spirit guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. Each time I choose to tune into spirit, here we go again with the alignment, so that might be important for you. Guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. Beautiful. Here we go again about tuning into spirit and tuning into the alignment. So that's going to be important for you. And then we have intent and create. High priest, intent and create. The more you set intentions for yourself, the more you will create beautiful things. Very nice. And then we have, as the third card, we have for you, Sky Father, trust in the unknown. I think we had this one last week in the general card. So for you, my wonderful one, trust in the unknown. Even though you don't know everything, just trust that the universe is guiding you towards the right direction. All right? Wonderful. And here we go with the rose. Here we have, as soon as I choose to see the, so if you resonated with the rose, these are your personal cards. As soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power toward what I want. And again, oh, beautiful. I love that this card comes up. So it's reminding you of the power of decision making that you have in any moment, in any given moment. And you can decide to focus on the light instead of focusing on dark sides, right? So that's how you can redirect your power in any moment. You can redirect that at any moment. So for you, it's important this week to choose to see the light. All right? And the second card that we have for you is the broken arrow. Embrace the energy of peace. So this is double for you because we have the peacekeeper up here. So embrace the energy of peace. Embrace that inside, and because this one came up with the mind, embrace the energy of peace of mind. How can you embrace the energy of your peace for yourself? Wonderful. And the last one, last but not least, the seer, see beyond the current situation. So for you, it's important to look at your situation, but maybe look a little bit further, look at the big picture, what's happening out there. All right. Beautiful. All right. So if you resonated with my wonderful, beautiful piece of Palo Santo that I have, the traveling piece, then these are your personal cards, and we're going to get started with the affirmation for you is believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming even when I can't yet see the result. Believing in spiritual guidance gives me the certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming even when I can't yet see the result. This is a beautiful reminder of you giving trust into your spiritual guidance. The more you can do that, the more you can let go of the need to have anything, that you need to do anything. That's it, right? Beautiful. And the other card for you is the Magic Guardian. Unlock the magic within. Unlock the magic that you have inside of you. Bring it out, my wonderful soul. Bring it out. You have beautiful magic inside of you. And it's time for it to come out. And the third card for you is the Hunter. Track down your fears and desires. So for you, my beautiful soul, it's important to track down your fears and desires. And I love that this is coming up. And I hope that, this can motivate you not to see it as something, to embrace your fears and desires. And by that, I'm meaning look at them, what they want to show you, and create a space where you can transform those for you. Maybe you've heard of my big fear work that I started doing a couple of years ago when I had the calling to become an expert in fears, transforming your fears. Because, and I transformed my fear of the ocean in a way that today I go scuba diving. This is like, whenever I plan travels, it's a lot around going scuba diving. And knowing that actually I used to have panic attacks in the ocean, this is a big deal of transformation. And I'm not talking about just, those huge fears that are so visible, like fear of heights or fear of the ocean. But we have a lot of micro fears that we are sometimes not aware of. And it's so important for us to, on one hand, and this is what this card is bringing up, shed the light. No, is it shed the light? Turn the light on towards, put the light, I always call it flashlight, put the flashlight on it to look at it. It doesn't mean that you have to transform it right away, but if you set the intention that you want to do that, that's what you want to, bring in. And put the light on that so that you can, see for yourself, what is your fear showing you? And how can you create? And this is, again, I always like to take the example of the scuba diving, because of it. And not just scuba diving, I actually also learned surfing just to, to have both on and underwater experiences so that I can transform this fear. And I did that in creating a safe space for myself with, meditation and a lot of shamanic work. And then on top of that, also choosing the places where I would go scuba diving or the teachers, making them aware that I come from this fearful experience, but that I'm working on it. And there's a lot of people actually that have, done that with scuba diving, and it's helpful for that situation. But I'm also talking about those I'm calling them micro fears, although for me they are pretty big. Those fears of not being liked, the fears of rejection, the fears of, no one liking you. What are people going to think? We have so many of those in different facets of them. I remember being in a hostel back then when I started a little bit of traveling before I became my nomadic self. Like being there and asking myself, like, hey, I can't, I can't just talk to people. Like, I was afraid of talking to people. And I did that. I remember that I created this space where I was like, so if I do it here, it was a situation where I was in I think 8-bed dorm, and there was someone else in there, and so I just started talking to them. And for me, that space felt safe because I was alone with that person. So if there would have been rejection or anything, it wouldn't have felt like it was on a platter for everybody visible. But also, I was aware that, I don't have to be best friends with that person. But maybe I'll meet someone exciting, right? So that changed that, for example. Or another one was my, fear of what do people think when they see me? Because I was taught, my whole life I was taught it has to, you have to dress. You have to dress the right way. And then suddenly but I never felt like, like that was me. So I started changing my appearance in time, and it felt right for me to do it, creating those safe spaces where I would be like, okay, so this is what I look like. And then suddenly it's like, oh, that's not too bad. People are not reacting like, oh my God, how are you running around, because I had to get rid of those thoughts in my head. And I'm just giving you these as examples of little tiny fears that we have on one hand, and on the other hand, desires. Like for me with the clothing, that I wanted to have clothes that make me feel comfortable, where I feel comfortable, wearing. And that's how it all shifts and changes. And it's so wonderful when you start looking at both of those things, because they guide you. The desires that we have are not just, a desire that, oh my God, why are you allowing yourself to have those desires? But I'm going even further. Allow yourself, because what if it's the universe or God or the divine energy or your soul asking for something? That's why you're having desires, right? So let's embrace them. And to be able to embrace them, it's important for us to put the light on it. All right, not to make it too much longer. Wow, I think today's reading was beautiful. Thank you so much for everybody, that tuned into today's reading. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I am filled with gratitude for joining today's card party with you guys. I hope you got some aha moments or felt the cards give you your boost. If so, please let me know in the comments below or email me. I'd love to hear what you have had. And with that said, my wonderful ones, as always, I want to finish with a beautiful quote that, in this case, I don't know whose it is, but it's at least from what I've gathered, it's unknown. If you do know, let me know in the comments. But this wonderful quote is, don't adapt to the energy in the room. Influence the energy in the room. And I love how this quote is showing us to, we have that choice whenever, especially as empaths, we have that choice to either adapt to the energy in a room or to be the influence of the energy in that room. I'm not saying to do it all the time, but sometimes it's important for us to step up and do it. So with this said, I'm going to repeat it one more time. Don't adapt to the energy in the room. Influence the energy in the room.